Welcome to Grand Prix, your go-to channel for the fastest updates in Formula One. We've got 3 hot stories for you, so make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell to stay ahead of the pack. Let's get started. The Monaco Grand Prix weekend was far from ideal for Red Bull. The tight and twisty nature of the Monte Carlo circuit exposed clear weaknesses in their RB21, which struggled throughout the weekend. Max Verstappen, despite his best efforts, managed to finish only in 4th place, a result that highlighted the team's ongoing issues on circuits that demand a more aggressive driving approach and excellent handling over curbs. What stood out even more was that these limitations persisted despite Red Bull bringing a major update package to the car. Expectations had been high that the upgrades would help them close the gap to their rivals, especially in low-speed conditions. Yet, the car continued to show signs of discomfort in qualifying, where the drivers needed to extract every ounce of performance, particularly over the curbs. This has become a pattern on tighter tracks and raised important questions about the true competitiveness of the RB21. So, what does the team have to say about these ongoing issues? According to team principal Christian Horner, the RB21 hasn't been completely fixed, but there has been substantial progress compared to the start of the season. He emphasized that the car no longer suffers from the aggressive bouncing or porpoising that plagued it last year, and that it performs significantly better on high-speed circuits, where aerodynamic efficiency plays a larger role. Horner explained that Formula One cars are not built for a single type of track, but are instead developed to perform consistently across a wide range of circuits. He acknowledged that, in this regard, Mclaren has done an impressive job in creating a well-balanced car that excels on various layouts. In contrast, the RB21 remains more comfortable on fast, flowing tracks and still struggles in tighter, more technical layouts, something that has proven to be a fundamental trait of the car's design. Despite these challenges, Horner made it clear that Red Bull has no intention of abandoning its development direction. The team is fully committed to the current concept and will continue refining it throughout the season. He remains optimistic that the upcoming race in Barcelona could offer a turning point. The characteristics of the Circuit de Barcelona-Catalunya should suit the RB21 better than Monaco, and the team is hopeful that they can extract stronger results. Moreover, Barcelona will also mark the introduction of a new FIA directive aimed at reducing the flexibility of front wings. The new, stricter regulations may affect some teams more than others, and Horner is cautiously optimistic that this could trigger a shift in the competitive hierarchy. He hinted that Red Bull might benefit from these adjustments if other teams, particularly those using more flexible aerodynamic solutions, face difficulties in adapting to the new rules. Looking ahead, Horner believes that the changes could open the door for Red Bull to return to more regular contention for race wins. The hope is that as the calendar moves to circuits better suited to the car's strengths, and as the team continues its development path, they will be able to challenge at the front once again. So what do you think? Will Red Bull manage to bounce back and reclaim their winning form in the coming races? Or do you believe the issues run deeper and could hold them back for the rest of the season? Let us know your take on Red Bull's chances going forward. Hello, my friends. Here's a quick but important update from the ever-dynamic world of Formula One, where the landscape might be heading towards some major changes soon. To ensure you don't miss anything, make sure you're subscribed and have notifications turned on. We bring you direct, no-nonsense updates every day. According to a report from the reputable German newspaper Bild, there's a significant development brewing behind the scenes. Christian Horner, the current team principal of Red Bull Racing, has reportedly been approached by Ferrari. The information suggests that the Ferrari leadership has grown increasingly dissatisfied with the performance and management of their current team principal, Frederic Vasseur, particularly due to the lackluster results in the opening races of this season. As the report outlines, Ferrari is actively exploring options beyond their existing setup should Vasseur fail to deliver the expected improvements in the near future. In that context, Horner, one of the most successful and longest-serving team principals in Formula One, naturally emerged as a prime candidate on Ferrari's radar. The rumor mill doesn't stop there. Bild claims that during informal conversations, Horner expressed his current commitment to Red Bull, emphasizing that he does not foresee himself leaving the team anytime soon. He reportedly underscored his long-term vision for Red Bull, particularly focusing on preparing for the sweeping regulatory changes coming in 2026. These include the introduction of new power unit regulations and the much-anticipated partnership with Ford, which will mark a new era for Red Bull Racing as both a chassis and engine manufacturer. However, as all seasoned Formula One fans know, this sport is famously unpredictable. Allegiances shift, opportunities emerge unexpectedly, and what may seem improbable today can quickly become reality tomorrow. The dynamics at Red Bull have been anything but stable recently, with internal tensions linked to performance inconsistencies, the departure of Adrian Newey, and uncertainties about Max Verstappen's long-term future at the team. Ferrari's interest in Horner is, therefore, not entirely surprising. With Red Bull navigating through a period of transition and Ferrari seeking to reignite their championship ambitions after years of falling short, the allure of a seasoned leader like Horner could be tempting for both parties, even if public denials are in place for now. At the same time, it is important to recognize that Christian Horner's identity is deeply intertwined with Red Bull Racing. He has been at the helm since the team's inception in 2005, overseeing their meteoric rise to multiple constructors and drivers' championships. His strategic vision, leadership style, and ability to manage both engineering, innovation, and complex driver dynamics have been essential to Red Bull's sustained success. Would he really consider abandoning all of that to take on the immense challenge of leading Ferrari, a team with notoriously complex internal politics and intense media scrutiny? Or is this just another episode of Formula One's perennial game of high-stakes poker, with teams probing for weaknesses and individuals quietly weighing their options? So, with all these factors in play, what do you think? Could Christian Horner truly leave Red Bull in the near future and choose to lead Ferrari? Or will this Italian interest ultimately come to nothing, leaving Horner to continue his long-term project with Red Bull as they prepare for the next era of Formula One? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. We'll be following this story closely and, as always, bringing you the latest developments right here. Stay tuned. As you're probably already aware, the upcoming Spanish Grand Prix will introduce a new technical directive that could shake up the pecking order on the Formula One grid. This update centers on the front wing flexibility tests, which will now be significantly more stringent. The FIA's goal is clear: to eliminate the so-called flexi wings that have been at the center of growing controversy in recent races. Mclaren and Mercedes have been among the main teams accused of exploiting gray areas in the regulations by designing wings that pass all static FIA tests, but appear to behave differently under race conditions. While these components have technically remained legal so far, complaints from rival teams, most notably Red Bull, have pushed the FIA to act. Until now, these wings complied with all required assessments, but during races, cameras and data seemed to show noticeable flexing that gave aerodynamic advantages, especially on straights and in cornering stability. Starting in Spain, the FIA will apply tougher procedures. The tolerance for wing movement during these tests has been drastically reduced. Any car that exceeds the new limits will be considered non-compliant and, consequently, illegal to race. F1 expert Paolo Felicetti believes that this change could lead to immediate consequences. He suggests that Red Bull and Ferrari stand to benefit the most. Ferrari, in particular, had attempted to incorporate a flexible wing during the 2023 Singapore Grand Prix. However, the solution didn't perform as expected, and the team ultimately continued developing their car without relying on wing flexibility. This puts them in a favorable position, as their aerodynamic balance hasn't been dependent on the kind of front wing movement now being outlawed. On the other hand, McLaren's recent improvements have been largely credited to their use of advanced wing flex techniques. Their car has shown impressive straight-line speed while maintaining strong cornering performance, a balance many believe is made possible by these dynamic aerodynamic components. With the new directive in place, McLaren and Mercedes may face challenges adjusting their setups. The change could affect top speed, overall drag levels, and, most critically, the delicate aerodynamic equilibrium of their cars. Experts point out a specific concern: the car's rear-end stability. As the front wings become more rigid and less capable of adapting dynamically to airflow, the increased front-end downforce may push the car's nose down too much. This, in turn, lifts the rear slightly, reducing the effectiveness of the ground effect created by the rear floor and diffuser. The result could be unpredictable handling and a loss of rear traction, especially concerning on high-speed circuits like Barcelona. Teams will need to go back to the drawing board to develop solutions that keep the car balanced and controllable under the new constraints. Some drivers, like Max Verstappen and Charles Leclerc, may adapt quickly to the shift due to their driving styles. However, since Red Bull and Ferrari aren't as reliant on flexible front wings, their setups might require fewer adjustments. The real test, however, will come on track. While some analysts predict a shakeup in the current hierarchy, others believe the changes will result in only minor gains and losses, fractions of a second per lap, that nonetheless could be pivotal in such a competitive field.